What's going on, everyone? I wanted to talk a little bit about the Game of the Year. So the Game Awards announced today the games that they've nominated for the Game of the Year. So what we got here: Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, a lot of people are pretty upset about this. Now, if you can go check out the comments, a lot of people are upset. People are always mad. Hey, no Starfield, no Hogwarts Legacy, but Final Fantasy 16 is missing. You know, everyone's gonna get mad about these all the time. One take that I've heard a couple of people say that I thought was particularly bad. Don't mean to call people out here, but was people were trying to say that Starfield deserves Game of the Year nomination. I agree. And then over a samey children's 2D Mario game? Like what? Like if you now, first off, I did not play Super Mario Brothers Wonder, but as you see here, it's very well received, and I have heard reviews. I've heard people talk about it, and if you say that it's a samey game, some samey children's game, what that tells me is that you don't even know what this game is, because from what I understand, this game is very unique. Levels are like really well thought out. Like there's not just some generic like gimmicky thing that like the whole game kind of has. Like every single level has things that you can do that totally flip the level on its head and change it completely. Like it's a very well thought out, well made Mario game. I've heard people say that it's basically the best Mario game ever, you know, since the first Mario game. It's the best one that's ever been made. I don't think that's a problem, but if you look on this list, I do think there is absolutely a problem. Can you guess what it is? It would be, I don't know, the game that came out like 15 years ago that for some reason, because they made a remake, is now nominated for Game of the Year. How are you going to nominate a remake as a Game of the Year? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Now, Resident Evil 4, great game, you know, highly regarded. The remake was done really well, but I just think it's just ridiculous and silly that you can try to argue that like this would be nominated for Game of the Year when you have games that, you know, Final Fantasy 16, when you have Starfield, when you have Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I don't think that those three games that I mentioned, I don't think any of those are my Game of the Year, but I definitely think all three of those are all games that came out this year for the first time, whereas Resident Evil 4 came out, you know, forever ago. I think that's ridiculous. You know, Legend of Zelda, this one maybe, you know, I could see a good argument for it. You know, even though it does have the same map, there are some things about it that, you know, are maybe like, hey, is this game really super interesting and new when there's a lot of the things kind of derived from the last title. But there's so much new and interesting things in this game as well, with all the new mechanics that they, you know, improved on, that I don't think there's really an argument there. I think the weakest game on here, in my opinion, is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Though, I haven't played it, so, you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt. I'm sure this game is absolutely phenomenal, really fun, and really good. You know, it's I guess I just kind of have some Marvel like hangover, just like some like I've had too many Marvel movies, too much Marvel, that it's just for me. I'm like, hey, do we really need to continue to recognize, you know, another Spider-Man game that does the same thing that all of the last Spider-Man games have done, you know, since the beginning of time? That's just my opinion, though. But like I said, I'm sure that's an absolutely great game. When it comes to PC, I'm gonna play it. I don't hate that it's on here. Alan Wake 2, I'm playing the original right now. I'm really excited for the second one. I haven't played it. Baldur's Gate 3, I think, is for sure the winner here. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win. It's going to be hands down, you know. I think that's absolutely going to win it. But yeah, people are pretty upset. I think Starfield deserves to be on here. Final Fantasy 16, maybe. I think Final Fantasy 16 was a little bit disappointing. Story-wise, it really fell off after that amazing intro, but it was a fun game to play. Good game mechanics. It was definitely a pretty good game. Hogwarts Legacy. I would say Hogwarts Legacy is almost more of a kid game than Super Mario Brothers. Maybe not, though. The story is a little bit dark there. But anyways, that's my take on it. I know a lot of people are upset about this. What do you think about this list? Do you guys think that this list should be redone? If so, would you take it off? And please let me know. Do you think Resident Evil 4 should be on this list? Let me know, because if that's the case, you think that, I would love to hear why. But before I go, I guess I'd want to leave this by saying, hey, this is the Game Awards, right? There we go, the Game Awards. The reality is that just because you call yourself the Game Awards doesn't give you the authority on anything. You know, you used to have Game of the Year editions that would come out at GameStop, you know, for $20, Game of the Year edition, right? And like, who was to say that was Game of the Year? Like, every game had a Game of the Year edition. The title never really meant anything, but you know, the Game Awards have tried to kind of be like, hey, we want to be that place that's like the Oscars for games, you know, but they only are if we give it to them, if we allow them to be that for everyone. And for me, I absolutely don't really look to any kind of established institutions to tell me what the Game of the Year is. I am going to just decide that for myself. I'll look to other people on YouTube that I follow, that I enjoy and respect, and that's how I decide what Game of the Year is. So really, no need to be too upset about this. It's not like they're not the boss of anything, of anybody. If you don't think it's Game of the Year, then it's not Game of the Year. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Also, if you guys are interested in playing Alan Wake 2, but you have not played the first Alan Wake yet, I am playing through it right now on my second channel. I'll leave the link in the description to get you all caught up. It's been really fun. That game's really cool, especially for like a 12-year-old game. I've been having a good time. You don't need to have played the first one to play Alan Wake 2, but if you're like me, you like to just catch up with the story before you play a sequel to a game, you can just go over there, watch my video. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, I'll see you guys later.